Hello, this is David with Three Orcs. Welcome back. It's now August 3rd, 2025, and it's been a few weeks since I went live because I've been really busy with the summer with a lot of other projects I've been working on. Plus, the heat has zapped all the energy out of me. So by the time I get home, I don't want to do anything. I'm like heat stroke city here in the desert. So in the daytime, I do work on my articles, and I'm daily. And I did re-release the Village of Nulb and the Village of Ostberg on DM's Guild. I'm still currently rewriting the Village of Nulb, and I'm getting close to being done with that. But then I got sidetracked thinking, okay, I need to re-release the leadership of the Temple of Elemental Evil again. And so I went through all this last week, and it's done. I'm just waiting for somebody to edit review it, make sure there isn't any mistakes. And then I'll go ahead and upload it to the DM's Guild. If you purchase these modules before, you can get a free upgrade. You know, the new version, you can download it again for free, so that's not a problem. Also, I got sidetracked again doing the Temple of Elemental Evil. So before I get into that, welcome to the channel. If anybody's watching and you hear an echo or the sound doesn't sound good, I'm sure turn my speakers down. I got my fan going because it's warm in here. And I just want to make sure if there are any problems, let me know. And if you have any questions about the campaign or the work I do or the material, please ask me. That's what this live stream is about, to update everybody on what's been going on and to answer questions about the campaign or hear about what's going on in your campaign. And usually we'll have a guest that come on to join us to do that. I like to hear what they've been doing with their campaign because there's a lot of different DMs running this, part of the Three Orcs Discord channel. And they all have different ways of running it or starting it. They're integrating the campaign with other campaigns. And so I find it pretty interesting. And it helps other Dungeon Masters out there to hear what other people are doing. You know, if it's okay to do something different or give you some good ideas, you know, things like that. And so that's what the whole project is all about. The Verbobonc Campaign Guide 576 Common Year and the Temple of Elemental Evil campaign it's supposed to be run in 579 Common Year. It doesn't really matter, but that's what it says in the module. If you want to be strict with your lore, I call mine the 576 Common Year because that's the default timeline for the Gary Gygax World of Greyhawk box set. So I'm trying to stick to the lore of Gary Gygax's vision of the World of Greyhawk as much as I possibly can, but integrating it with Living Greyhawk. The reason I'm going with Living Greyhawk is because, as Gary intended, they expanded the area with more towns, more NPCs, more organizations, more geographical areas, things that a Dungeon Master is expected to do. And even the T1 through 4 Temple of Elemental Evil module, Gary says in the DM notes that you're expected to do all this. That he only provided 4 locations in Nulb, and he expected you to fill the rest out. And a lot of the DMs over the years have done that. And of course, I've done it to a immense magnitude, like I do with everything. I'll take like a brief mention of a town from the Living Greyhawk, and I'll expand it 100-fold and really detail it out, adding all the NPCs and the shops and the leaders and add quests and add more artwork and create maps. You know, all the things that a Dungeon Master is expected to do, but not everybody has the time. And so that's what I'm pretty much doing in my semi-retirement. So, yeah, I haven't done a live stream lately because I've been buried deep in trying to go over Nulb and re-releasing the Temple of Elemental Evil leadership module. And I didn't have a lot to report until now. So I did come up with a new map. I know how you guys love maps. I'll put the map up on Patreon as soon as I get everybody give me a thumbs up in my Discord to make sure it's accurate. I went into the maps to confirm placement, and you'll see. The literature in the Temple of Elemental Evil is very confusing. Exactly where these tunnels are, where that hunting cabin is, where this oval cavern is, where Rune 335 is, and how they're all connected, and what they're all used for besides an escape tunnel. And so that's all been expanded immensely. So it gives you other avenues of access to the temple and for the NPCs there too. So they can use it for their activities. And this is quite a bit because that's what the Temple of Elemental Evil leadership is all about, is they're all up to something. They all have their own factions. Players are expected to, use those factions against each other to do well. And the Dungeon Master should be prepared for that. And this is supposed to be an epic version of the Temple of the Mental Evil campaign. This is what my project's all about. Not just running the module like you would do the B2 module. If you're a dungeon master that likes to run stuff off the cuff, that's great. Yeah, if you're running like the B2 module. But if you're running this campaign, it's not so fun if you're just running it from the pages as a dungeon slog. That's the complaints over the years. But if you turn this into an epic campaign, which involves the entire area around the Flyness of this, like city of Verbobonc, the Luna, Furandi, the Gnarley Forest, the Wild Coast with the Slavers, Selene, the Elven Kingdom to the south, the Pomars, the Scarlet Brotherhood. They're all involved. Nobody's really put it together yet. Connect the dots. And that's what my project does. Thankfully for the guys, a lot of you guys on the Three Orcs Discord channel help out every day and talk to me. Every article I write, I put it up on the Discord channel so you guys can review it and critique it and make some changes while I'm editing it, which is a lot more convenient to edit it while I'm working on it, or if I get something wrong. And also my maps and artwork and stuff. Sometimes I can't nail every piece of artwork, but I strongly believe in this day and age, you need some artwork on every page, maybe 2 or 3 pieces of art. That's what people want. It sucks having a module with hardly any artwork in it. It doesn't really bring it to life enough. You as a dungeon master could do it, but it'd be nice if it's already done, and a lot of it nails it. I don't expect every piece of my art to nail it, but it gives you a general vibe and a general idea what it's like, that location or that NPC. But a lot of it, I'm really proud of that I did nail it. It turned out really good. So hopefully I do that more often than not. So anyway, if anybody's in the Discord channel or anybody in the YouTube stream, go ahead and say hi, or if you have any questions, let me know. So while we're waiting for that, I'm going to show you guys what I've been working on. So first I want to do a little blurb about a good recommendation of a book to read. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. You always have the appendix in the back of the Dungeon Master's Guide of which books should inspire you to play Dungeons and Dragons, and other game systems do the same thing. Even Dalmanwood has an appendix. I did a video on that, on all the books they recommend to get you into the mood or get the flavor or get nail the vibe of that whole campaign. And, the first Dungeon Master's Guide by Gary Gygax, he did the same thing. All his books. This author was left out because he came later. He came in the 80s. And a lot of people know, the ones that did follow him and did read his books know. But I'm finding a lot of people that haven't read his stuff yet, which surprised me. Because you got the books. This is the first 2 books. This is really cool. That's on the page there. So the Misenchanted Sword. This is a D&D world. A narration of it. A really good story. It's interesting. It's not too childish. It's a little bit immature compared to the Malageron series. Eric Erickson. That's total adult, mature writing, And then you got Piers Anthony, which is totally childish and goofy and funny and fun. It's fun to read, but it does not have a lot of meat to it. But this guy really nails it to the vibe I like a lot. It actually nails the kind of vibe I like about D&D, the kind of D&D I like. Because back in the 80s, we used to run Monty Hall campaigns, and you run all the modules. You got the B's, the A's, the G's, the D's, and you get all these magic items and kill all the giants. And it was fun. But it wasn't like playing Pool of Radiance. It wasn't like playing Pool of Radiance, Forgotten Realms storyline, or the Dragonlance series, where you're playing more of a book. This is more like D&D fun, where you make your own dungeons. And it's cool. The more meat you put into these adventures and dungeons, the better it is. And that's how I look at Greyhawk. So this is strong. I highly recommend reading these books. The Misenchanted Sword is a really cool premise. He's a scout. They're in the middle of a war right now. And the enemy is a bunch of sorcerers that summon demons. As you know, after the Gods' War, there was a pact that gods couldn't interfere. Well, so the gods aren't helping. They have clerics, but they're not helping indirectly through their clerics and agents. And so the other side released their demons. It's awesome how he depicted that. They opened the doors of hell and they just came swarming through like a locust plague and destroyed a huge mass of the continent before the gods finally decided to step in and put a stop to it. So this kind of reminds me a little bit of the Temple of Elemental Evil, about what happens at the end when all the gods show up and start, handling things in person with Saint Cuthbert and Lewis. It kind of reminds me of that a little bit. And I love the drama. He did a really good job with the drama and the characterization of the characters. And a really interesting world. It's a flat world, like a plate, fall off the edge. That's like Hyperborea, Conan world. Anyway, I highly recommend it. It's like 14 books. So they're expensive, but these are very common at used bookstores because they've been out a while, and they're very D&D. They really interesting magic items, very interesting spells and spell casting, and the Wizards Guild and the Thieves Guild. He does a really good job depicting all that in D&D type terms without using rules. I highly recommend it. It's really cool. So you just Google his Wikipedia. He started off with the Lords of Dus series in 1980, The Lure of the Basilisk. I remember reading that in grade school. Great book about gods. The Seven Altars, the Sword of Belu, who is the death sword of death gods coming to life. It's his era now. Something like that. I can't remember. Then you got all these other series, but the S-Star series is what I'm recommending. It's a constructed world. It's really cool. The books, here's your books right here, from 1985 to 2010 to 2023. I need to start reading more. I've been too busy working on my projects. I really don't like a book of short stories. It's a little boring for me, even though it's still good. Well, I want to see the whole book on that one story, not a bunch of short stories. But his ideas here, what he did here, the mirror, it's a magic item. The black dagger is a magic item. There's a dragon. The warlord has something to do with sorcerers. So if you got sorcerers in your campaign, he does a really good job depicting sorcerers and a unique twist to it. And also the Wizards Guild and how they handle the world, the politics of the world, with the leaders and renegade wizards and things like that. It's really cool. And even selling and buying spells and magic items. I think he did a really cool job. I highly recommend you guys, if you're into D&D, you definitely gonna enjoy reading these. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about. So basically, back to the campaign here. This is the map that's 1 hex is a league, 3 miles, and it's modeled after Anna Myers. I start my campaign off at the city of Verbobonc, and they make their way through these different dungeons and stuff. I have a DM only layer here. There's all the dungeons that pop up. So you can zoom in a lot farther than you can on Anna Myers maps. There's a lot of detail. There's a lot of encounters, a lot of activities happening in this campaign. You need to zoom in more. There's just too much stuff going on. 1 hex is 3 miles. That's a lot better. There's a lot going on. And all these dungeons are like dungeons I've been working on and stuff. And there's Nulb. So the Temple of Elemental Evil, I got to relabel that, is on the DM layer only. So I don't want players to see it. But I'm working on the Temple of Elemental Evil leadership module. And now I'm going to show you what I did. So it's a new map I made. It's based on this map. See that tunnel on the top right-hand corner? That's the secret. It's the entrance to the secret tunnel. The secret tunnel that goes to room 335 and the bandit tower up top? Well, that's the actual entrance. There's supposed to be a ladder going down that into the secret tunnel. So what I did is I thought, how are they going to get supplies and prisoners into the temple secretly? Because that's the goal. Hedrack, the Supreme Commander, is smart. He's doing it right this time. He doesn't want to tip off the forces of good of what's going on. As far as anybody knows, anywhere is banditry's on the rise. Local problem. That's it. If some occultist activities happen out in the world, like the Earth Temple or something, it's just probably a splinter cult, the leftover remnants of the Battle of Emerald Meadows. It's not really suggesting that the Temple of Elemental Evil is on the rise again. In fact, those wards are still in place and they're being monitored. So anybody that's really important wouldn't consider a threat yet. But there's suspicions, and that's why Otis and Candace DeVay was sent to Nulb to spy on the locals to find out what's going on. Maybe these bandits are being more organized than they should be. So Hedrack's got to be smart with the logistics and the supplies of the Temple of Elemental Evil. So anyway, the well's too small. You can't get a wagon down that well. So what they did was they have a cave over here, hidden well, camouflaged. And I put some bugbear caverns towards the entrance, but it's connected to that secret tunnel. And you'll see that in the map I made. This map a long time ago. This is the cottage and the barn, sort of. I made the battle map bigger in area, so your players can move around on it and combat the bandit leader and the other bandits from the Greater Temple here, and the hunting towns and things like that. So what I want to show you, though, is the map I made. So I need to go to here, and we'll look at 2.2. Yeah. Bring this over. Does that look good on the screen? Yeah. Good enough. Goodenough.com. So that's the hunting cabin and the barn. I need to add that barn to the battle map. And I added a series of caverns. I want to make a map for that, a battle map for those caverns. So they're full of bugbears. The king of the bugbears from the south and Welkwood sent the bugbears here to work with the Temple of Evil, to collaborate with them. And so one squad is here, and they protect the cave entrance supplies of the wagons going up and down this tunnel. And these numbers, by the way, these distances are directly quoted from the actual module. Spent a lot of time trying to get this right. And so there's a secret ledge right here overlooking the cave mouth. So bugbears can spy upon anybody milling around the cave mouth before they enter. There's a lot of shrubbery and bush and trees here, but I kept it clear for this map. This map is not a player map. It's a DM only map, just to give you an idea of where everything is and how it's all linked together. This is kind of confusing. The secret tunnel in the T1 through 4 module is really confusing. It's not written well at all. And so a bunch of us had to get together on the Discord to discuss it. But I kept the numbers the same, 100 feet to there, 200 feet to there. So there's the broken tower where Smigmol and her bandits are. Smigmol is in room 336 and 337 with Feldrin. But her bandits are up here in the tower. So you can access this tower through the door. You know, just like the module says. There's a secret door and a secret tunnel at the back of the tower going out. And as the module says, 540 feet into an oval-shaped cavern. I did this down here. That's pretty close. I know it's 900 feet across. The map says that. From this wall to this ruined wall is 900 feet. So that's roughly a third. I didn't use any tools to measure, but it's pretty close. It's not a player map anyway. Just give you an idea of how these tunnels are connected. That's the goal here. So that's a good idea. So I haven't keyed these bugbear caves yet. This oval cavern. Let's put something there. Bugbear leader and some nasty stuff. That'd be cool. You gotta remember, these guys are responsible for getting the supplies and the prisoners from the cottage to room 335 and the tower. See what I mean? So the bugbears were recruited to protect all this and help deliver the supplies under Commander Feldrin's rule and Lieutenant Brunk. So after that, you go south 600 feet, like the module says, and there's part of the room structure of the third level of the temple, room 335. And I didn't put a door here or there, but I just wanted to show you generally on the map where this is located. So if you're like up top here and you had like turn earth to mud spell or something like that, you could dig a hole straight down if you wanted to, right to room 335, if you knew where it was anyway. So at least you know, as a dungeon master, where everything lies down below from up top. This is room 5A and this is room 5B, I believe. I'm sorry. I'm live too. I didn't make my changes. Did I change that another map? I don't have the spot right. Did I change it? I haven't changed it yet. I said I was going to do it after dinner. Okay. You see where my cursor is? That's where room 335 is supposed to be. So I'll make the change before I put it up on my Patreon and put it on Discord and Facebook and make sure it's accurate. But I had to layer the maps on top of each other to find the exact location of 335. So I had to move 335 from here to around here. It's basically 90 feet north of 5A per the maps. Sorry. I was been too busy. About this map, I guess that pretty much covers everything. I use Wonder Draft to make it. Not everything is like totally this perfect scale. You know, it's not like a player-facing map that has to be perfect. It's good enough to give you an idea where these tunnels go. So as you're DMing, you know, you could role play with the players and describe what they find. I already made a VTT map of this upper side of the cabin without the barn, but I need to make another VTT map of these bugbear caverns right here. And they have some goblins too, and maybe some dire hounds or something. We'll see. And I was thinking about putting giant rats or carrying crawlers at the bottom of the well right here. So the bugbears don't go that way. So if the players do want to slip down that well to bypass the bugbears without alerting anybody, which the players could possibly do, yeah, they still have to get past whatever's there, whatever you key there or I key there. I think I keyed it with just giant rats for now, but I might add a carrying crawler. We'll see. But it's up to you. You can put anything you want there. Anyway, that's what I want to report, what I've been working on. And Twilight Falls is almost done. I just need to add all these trees. So where should the barn be? This right here, that log, is some sort of defensive barricade screen to hide the trail. So the players don't know there's a trail going that way. So on your VTT map, when you're playing online, you want to block that out from line of sight so you don't see that there's an actual trail going that way. The barn should probably be right here. Oh, that's a cage. I made this with a different app. Oh, yeah, I recognize this now. This is like dungeon something from Steam. It's like a $10 dungeon map making program. It's not very good. Dungeon Painter Pro, DPP. Yeah, DPP. And I don't like it. It takes a lot longer to make anything with that app. And that's what I did with this because my campaign needed it. So it's pretty cool. So I hope you guys like that map. If you guys have any opinions about that map, the tunnels connecting, let me know. You know, that's what the Discord's for.
Did you enjoy video? Consider tossing support on my Patreon. It's best way to support orcs. If you would like to see more content, subscribe and post comments below. It better not be bad.
If you have any questions about exactly what to use it for in your campaign, more than welcome to join our 3 Orcs Discord channel and participate in the conversation and collaborate with this campaign, this project. Also, if you want to join the Patreon, you can help support this project, get more of this stuff done. And also you get a lot of this for free there, all these downloads. If you want to get a higher resolution version, often you have to be a member just to access that part. But all the normal resolution maps are for free, of course. Okay, well, this wraps up my video on the newest project I was working on, which is the maps for the Temple of Elemental Evil. If you like what you've seen so far, please comment down below. Let me know what you want to see in the future. And I hope your players enjoy your campaign as much as mine have.